Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. I'm okay. Weather, I'm here in the window hopefully getting a little bit of light because yet again, another drizzly mizzly day, never mind. I'm going to get on with a bit of domestic bliss today. Not bliss, you know, just domestic stuff. Tons to get through. I'm going to just start by, I'm refilling all my small, sort of manageable on the counter bottles with my big refills. I've talked briefly about these people before, minimal. Let me just check that this is the washing up liquid, yeah. And I have to say, when did I buy this? Pretty much, yeah, it was quite soon after I'd moved in, so they've been on the go 6 months, which is pretty good, and I like the product. I wouldn't chat about it if I didn't like it. And let's just fill that up. If I remember correctly, the washing liquid takes 1 funnel's worth. Oh my goodness, it's right to the top. Hang on a sec. Quick, pop it back into the big one for a second. Yeah, the reason why I thought I'd mention this again today, although I don't think I'm at that stage yet, I thought I was going to be getting to the bottom of the big bottles. The laundry liquid's gone down a bit more. It's because it's a closed recycling loop. It's a closed loop recycling system. What do you mean by that, Vivi? So normally when we put our recycling out, let's say I was chucking this bottle away, which I wouldn't. I'd either refill it somewhere, you know, to a refill shop or from these big bottles, whatever. But in this scenario, I'm going to throw this away. I'm going to put it into the recycling. Hopefully most of us are not using our black bins. I mean, we're barely using our black bins. That's our landfill waste. And then the next bin along is your recycling. I try to think of recycling as actually the last resort. Never mind the black bin, the last resort is the recycling. And fortunately, more stuff now is recyclable. But the problem with recycling, which is why this looks like a really good option, is that a lot of processes go on. So that bottle goes away, it has to be cleaned. I don't actually know all the processes involved, but then, I don't know, the plastic gets shredded, it gets remade into something else. So it's a lot of processes go into turning this old bottle into, I don't know, either a fleece jacket or another bottle for a drink or whatever it is. Whereas with this system, all those processes are not happening. This will go back to the people, minimal. It'll get cleaned out, yes, but then it gets refilled. So this actual container isn't being sort of smashed up, ripped up, whatever, processed to turn it into something else. It's going to stay exactly the same. Brilliant. Now what I'm just going to do is I'm going to clean this funnel out into the basin because it's got a little bit of residue of the washing up liquid. So I've got a tickle in my throat tomorrow, don't I? So let's just pop that into the washing up bowl when I come to wash up later. My washing liquid's there already. Yes, so what I understand, it's all done with, it looks like it's all done with these QR codes. I don't have a smartphone, so I can't read a QR code. So what I'm going to do is go onto their website to see if there's a printable label. Something I invested in earlier this year, thank goodness. I invested in a little label printer, ostensibly for my business. It's quicker, it's neater, and using the printed labels, it's all trackable. Just going to concentrate a second. Concentrate on the concentrate. The washing liquid bottle is a litre. The washing up, dishwashing one is 750 mils. Hence, I just had to think for a second. Yeah, so now I've got this label maker, great for my business, it's all tracked now, brilliant. But it has been useful a couple of times, because remember in the past, I've really struggled when I've had to return something. And I don't buy things on a whim. I don't think, you know, I know there's a huge problem, especially with clothing, of people ordering, you know, 20 items and then they're returning 18, 19 items. And I think that's part of the reason that they stopped putting returns labels in, to make it harder, or to make people, I don't know why, but that's, that's how it's been. So there were a couple of occasions. It was something from M&S, wasn't it? What did I buy from M&S that I had to return? I can't remember now. It was probably a bra, almost certainly. And it just was proving impossible to do a return without a smartphone. And guess what? There are people out there, me included, who don't have smartphones and who don't particularly want to have one. I'm more than happy to have a phone which I can make calls with and I can send and receive texts with. That's what I want from my phone. I don't want to be receiving emails and goodness knows what else while I'm out and about. Anyway, so now that I've got this label printer thing, it's meant that there was something, I can't remember what it was, but there was something recently-ish that I had to return because it was damaged, and I went online and there was a little label there. It's like, right, okay, because that's now connected to my printer. I can print a label and I can do my free return. Hallelujah, so easy. Oh, which printer label thing did I get? I can't remember, but it wasn't cheap. I think it was something like £80. So it's quite an investment, but again, I bought it for business purposes, so I didn't mind spending it. I kind of mind spending any kind of money, but, oh sorry, just on the thing of printers. Historically, I've had such a nightmare with printers, as in, you know, your A4 to print documents from the computer, that when my last one decided to just stop communicating with my computer, the whole thing's done online, so there's no hardwire cable to put in. And I just thought at that point in my life, you know what, I've had it with printers. I've had 10 years of, I think at that stage I'd had 10 years of having a computer. I got my first laptop in tail end of 2009, going into 2010. And I lost track of the number of printers I've had, and none of them were reliable. So I said, that's it, I'm never having another printer. If I need to have something printed, I'll put it onto my lipstick, you know, the memory stick, and take it to the post office or wherever to get printed. Had to do that quite a bit when I was doing the house move. Had to get quite a lot of documents printed. But the label thing, it's hardwired into the computer. There's a cable from it that goes to the computer, so they immediately then are talking to each other. Great. That's my long and roundabout way of saying, I hope when the time comes, oh, I've got maybe 2 more bottles worth in here. This has lasted really well, but I'm hoping when that time comes that I can quite simply scan, so it says scan this code with your phone to arrange a free collection of your empties so that they can be reused, or to go to your nearest refill centre. Right, I'm going to have to go online and see if it will work. If it doesn't work and I can't return these, would I buy it again? I'd have to think about it. I like the company's ethos, I like the product, that's all good, but then if I end up with a load of empty ones of these, that would be a bit annoying. Right, next job. Need to make a bit of space, take the washing bowl out of the way, save that bit of washing up liquid. Kettle needs descaling. I live in a really hard water area. I'm not sure if this is going to pick up. Can you see? Scaly. That's going to affect the efficiency of the kettle. And let's face it, with our bills as they are, I want to do anything to help with our efficiency. Actually, I'm going to get you off the tripod because I'm going to use vinegar, just plain old white vinegar, but I'm going to let you see because it should start reacting straight away, and it's so exciting. The things that please me. Right, I'm holding you with my left hand, so excuse any wobbles, so I can pour with my right hand. So I'm just going to pop the vinegar in just to cover the... Oh, good job, I bought some more vinegar. And it will start, I don't know if it's going to pick up, it will start kind of, not exactly fizzing, but I don't know if you can get a... I don't know if I can show this to you, but it is, it sort of starts to go cloudy straight away. This is basically, the vinegar is an acid, the calcium deposits in there are an alkaline, so they have a little reaction and they're basically going to neutralise each other. Anyway, I'll leave that in there for a little while. Once it's done its job, tip out the vinegar, put some fresh water in it, give it one boil, job's a good one. I'll show you when it's done. So now I need to refill my vinegar, but again, it's a big container for the vinegar. I'll do that in a second. Yeah, I was thinking about this the other night, actually. Domestic bliss. I'm no domestic goddess, but I do enjoy being at home. I enjoy my home. And I was thinking about how this kitchen is working differently to the kitchen in London. And I love it. I love it here. So in London, I spent a huge amount of time in the kitchen, cooking. It's always more cooking to do. But also I had my desk in the kitchen, so my computer. So if I'm editing footage or if I'm replying to comments, emails, that sort of thing. So I did spend a lot of time in the kitchen in London, but it tended to be very much work. Either the work of meal preparation, the work of preserving harvests, etc. So the work around food or the work around the computer. And then once either of those are done, skedaddle into the living room. Whereas here, what I'm really enjoying is, I mean, the radio is pretty much always on for company, and you know, it's in the background as I'm doing something, veg prep, chop, whatever. But I found that especially since summer ended so abruptly on August the 29th, was it? That 6:30 slot on Radio 4 that tends to be comedy, I found myself sitting in here, sitting still, doing nothing and listening. And it's been an absolute joyous revelation to me to sit still doing nothing but listen to the radio. So quite often I'll be preparing a meal around about 7 o'clock. I quite often start so that I'm eating about 8. I know it seems really late for a lot of people, but my day is all shifted that way. So yeah, before I even start thinking about the evening meal, if I've been in here working, if I've been in here filming, or I might have filmed in the morning and then I'm editing it all afternoon, I come back in here, there might be some, you know, washing up or whatever to do. The radio's on all the time, and then 6:30, sit down. So I sit at my table, I might make a mug of hot chocolate, not necessarily, but yeah, to just sit still. Oh, it's been an absolute joy, and like I said, a revelation to me. So I'm loving, and it was one of my must-haves actually on my shopping list for a home. Outdoor space, absolutely, that was a non-negotiable. And high up on the wish list was a kitchen that was big enough to have a table in it. I mean, I had a table in the kitchen in London, but it was so a kitchen that's big enough to function as a kitchen, but also as a living area. Brilliant. Now, one of my other jobs today, but looking at it, it's pathetic. So this is my penny jar, and it actually fits 1p's, 5p's and 20p's. And over the years, I've had this going for years and years and years. It's an old Grolsch beer bottle, that's a big beer. Yeah, over the years, generally what I've done is around about the end of November, I empty it, count them all up, bag them up, I've got my little money baggies, and then go to the post office and either exchange them for notes or pay them into my post office savings account. And I've used it around the end of November time so that through December, that extra money can go towards gifts or some treats, extra food, that sort of thing. And it's been brilliant. And most years I seem to have had about 60-ish quid in there. I think one year there was over 100. I was like, oh my goodness, yay! But, and maybe this was in the back of my mind as well, there's no gifting anymore. Obviously, you know, my sister died, so I'm not getting a gift for her. And my mum announced that she wasn't going to do gifting anymore. So it's like, oh, okay. So I don't have that to do. I don't really get in a lot of extra food for Christmas. I don't do extra food for Christmas. I might do a few treats, and I will be doing treats for a tenner. Of course I will. So maybe that was in the back of my mind, but also since moving here, with my little weekly budget of 50 quid, there have been quite a few extras over the weeks I've needed to get. So I'm trying to think of some now, but just little odd bits and bobs that since moving, I've got a little fungus gnat. I've put some more diatomaceous earth on my plants. Sorry, distraction. Yeah, they've been, I'm trying to think now of an example. Okay, things like the little line scale ball in the kettle, or, I mean, that's really little, replacement kiln jar seals. I suddenly can't think. I know there have been extras. Oh, things like a stool to have in the shower, a bench, not a stool, a bench for the shower, and a wooden mat outside of the shower for when I step out. That kind of thing. Anyway, you get the idea, those little bits extra. And so each week there was just less money left in my wallet. Some weeks there was no money. So I just haven't been adding to this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm going to tip it out today anyway. I won't do it on camera, it's far too noisy. But this might, this might be not requisition, this might be put away for a year or so until things settle down a bit more. But then I'll start it again, because generally speaking, I would say over the years, I don't notice that bit of change going in on a weekly basis. But at the end of the year, I certainly notice an extra 60 quid. Yay! Do you have penny jars? Do you know what? I'm going to shake it out and then come back to you. Well, it's certainly not going to be a lot. Yes, I was asking, do you have penny jars? What's your best score ever from a penny jar? I'm going for the 20p's because they add up more quickly. But yeah, you can see I've hardly used this year. Oh, that's a nice even amount. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 quid in 20s, there's another 20. And that's maybe another quid. 8, maybe 9 quid. Oh, it's better than nothing. Yeah, definitely not a huge sum, but it's 9 quid. It's 9 quid that I haven't missed or thought about. And that can definitely, I don't know what to spend it on. Use it for. I feel like it should be a treat because I keep denying myself. You know what I might do? Because I haven't done this since, oh gosh, I haven't done it since August, right at the end of August when Kate was visiting. I haven't been to the pub and had a pint. So I might just say, you know what, I'm going to go to the pub and have a pint. And the remainder might do a bag of chips. Oh, I've just realised I fibbed about something the other day to Paul. We were talking about food and he was mentioning something they were going to have for supper, and it made me salivate as he was talking about it. And I said, I'm going to have it, but it involved potato. And I said, it's your fault. I'm going to be breaking my potato fast of the whole year. I've got 10 months, 2 weeks down the line with no potatoes, and you're going to make me have a potato. But actually, that's not fair. I'm going to have to apologise because, of course, I have had, is it 2? Oh no, I had 3 bags of chips. I had a bag of chips with Mark. Remember Mark from my old allotment popped over. I had a bag of chips with Richard and Paul. and I had a bag of chips with my cousin Maggie. Anyway, right, I've got £9 to spend without worrying about where it goes and thinking I need to really make the most of it. Unless I think of something today and I suddenly think, oh, actually I need something. But anyway, look, that's the penny jar. Hardly anything this year, but it's better than nothing, isn't it? Oh, fiddlesticks. I just wasn't thinking. I just tipped the blooming bowl of water out. Not concentrating. Anyway, this is just a few minutes later and you can see, hopefully be able to see, how that has worked. So all those calcium deposits dissolved by the vinegar. So like I said, all I'll do, and you can see a couple of sort of scummy bits floating on the top still. Literally all I will do is tip out the vinegar, pop some water in, give it one boil, and then it's done. Yay! You can of course do it with lemon juice, but I happen to have vinegar, so vinegar it was. And this should mean now that the kettle boils just that little bit more quickly and therefore that little bit more economically. Good, getting on. I boiled the kettle, tipped the vinegar out, boiled the kettle, used that boiling water in the basin to do my washing up from last night. I had to add a little bit more, but yes, let's not waste a boiled kettle. And I was thinking, it is that lime scale has really built up. The last time I cleaned it, I think it was beginning of September when Richard and Paul were here. Don't need that around my neck. Yeah, it was when Richard and Paul were here. So it's only about 2 months ago. It's really quite built up, and I don't actually have a lot of hot drinks. One a day at most. I might have a mug of hot chocolate, but of course I use it a lot for making stock, because I was thinking, you know, I'm not making that many cups of tea because they're not here. Why is it so? Of course, it's from making stock, isn't it? So yeah, anything to help with A, making the actual item last longer, but B, in terms of the economy of boiling it. And as much as I miss my whistling kettle, I really miss my whistling kettle, this one is so much quicker. So yeah, really glad I got it. In the meantime, while I was waiting for the kettle to boil, I finished counting up my coins. It came to £9.95. Yay! So I just went to my purse and I found there's a 5p. So I'm going to add the 5p. I'm not going to have a pint and a bag of chips with it. I'm going to use that for my treats for a tenner. How perfect. So even if my penny jar only yields my treats for a tenner each year, brilliant. So I will keep my jar out and I will keep using it. Gosh, there's all sorts. I'm going to do another video in a minute because there's all sorts I want to chat about. But I'm going to have a little... Oh, I was going to moan about something. No, I might have got a load of things to moan about. Life stuff that we can all moan about together, get it off our chests. What should we finish with? Oh, one slight moan. I've been watching a program which I'll tell you about in another video on the U Hub. So go online, it's U. I don't know if it's called UTV, but there's all sorts. You and Yesterday, You and Dave, You and other stuff. Anyway, it's on You. And an advert came on for a diet product. I'm not going to say which one. It's one of these things where you get all your meals for the day, for the whole week, whatever, delivered. And it's incredibly expensive. But you know what, if it works, fine, great. And good luck to anyone going that route. Good luck to anyone trying to lose weight. What bugged me in this advert, and I thought, you know, if I was retired and had more time each day, I might get on the computer to write to the Advertising Standards Authority, is it? I think that's what it's called, Advertising Standards. Because there's a moment in the video which I think is, at best it's an exaggeration and at worst it's an out and out lie. And I reckon some of you will know which advert I'm talking about. So in this advert we're introduced to the concept by the person who designed this food plan thing. And then we have real people You know, I lost £10 in 10 years on the plan, whatever. But there's one woman who, and she looks great. She, you know, she's got a great figure. She looks, and I'm going to talk British dress sizes. So don't get too hung up on the actual size if you're in a different country. It's more about the difference between the two sizes. I reckon this woman is a size 10, maybe 12. Looks great. Well done. Brilliant. But it's that old cliche of holding up an item of clothing. This used to be me. And she's holding up a skirt at her waistline. So we can't see her current waistline completely because she's holding up the skirt. And then she pulls it to the side to reveal her new slim figure. And the caption is, she says, I lost 3 stone on this weight management system thing. Now, 3 stone, everyone reckons that losing a stone, you drop a dress size. 1 stone, 1 dress size, very roughly. And I know from my own recent weight loss what's, you know, or if you're in America, 14 pounds. 14 pounds is a stone. In the UK, we talk about weight in stones and pounds. But I know roughly what a stone equals in terms of a dress size. She pulls this skirt to one size, and I'm not kidding, the skirt is twice as wide as she is. So the skirt looks like it's a size 26, 28 skirt. It's massive. For her to have filled that skirt, and this is what I mean, I think it's a fib, I don't think it's her skirt, because to have filled that skirt, to have been a size, even if it's a size 24, to go down to a size 10 or 12, she would have had to have lost about 10 stone. She would have had to have lost probably half her body weight. It's crazy. Now, you know what, like I said, good luck to anyone trying to lose weight and whichever way you do it. But it is hard, and I just think these cliche things of holding up a massive skirt and then appearing, ta-da! I just worry if it's setting people up for failure or for disappointment. Let's say not failure, but for disappointment that, you know, eating these meals that cost, because I looked it up after it, I got quite cross. I looked it up, it's hundreds of pounds for a month of this food. The idea that you can go from a skirt that's like this massive to this teeny slim trim waist and hip line in a couple of months of eating that food, I just think it's giving people false hope, and therefore that possibility of disappointment. And I think for so many people who are trying to lose weight, there's enough beating of oneself up anyway. I think anyone who's overweight, and we've all been there probably at some point in our lives, I know I certainly have been, where we are so mean to ourselves, you know, it's like, I'm not good enough, I'm not trying hard enough, I'm a failure, blah, blah, blah. You know, in the advert, she went from this to this in 3 months, I'm doing something wrong, it's my fault, da da da. You know, losing weight is hard enough without all those doubts and that beating up of oneself and self-beratement and self-hatred. So yeah, I just, maybe I will write to the advertising people, or even to the company, to say, I think that's a bit misleading, and I think that's a bit of false hope. Anyway, there we go. That's my little bit of a rant for today. I'm going to wrap up now, finish off some bits and bobs on that side of the kitchen, but I'm going to carry on filming today because there's stuff on this side of the kitchen that I want to chat about, and and there are some moans to be had. I might have to have a new strand. I was just thinking I might have to have a new strand called my monthly moan. We all experience it though, don't we? We all experience those things that make us roll our eyes because it's one of those, oh, yet again, or oh, not another one, or whatever it is, where we know that in the grand scheme of things, in life in general, it's not a huge deal, it's not a disaster, but sometimes we just feel like we need to let off steam I wish I could do cartoon steam coming out of my ears, because that's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment. But that can wait for another video, the monthly moan. Right, lovelies, I will see you all again really soon. I hope you're cosy wherever you are. I hope whatever the weather's doing that you're managing to, you know, keep your spirits up, get on with things, be productive. If it does lighten up a bit this afternoon, if it does dry up, then I've got things to do in the garden. Again, there's always something to do in the garden, isn't there? Oh, I have a garden again. Did I mention that? I love it. Even though it's been hammering down so many days recently, and I don't particularly want to go out, I always go to the end of the flat where I've got that window that looks out into the garden. I always have a look out and say morning to my little broad beans and garlic, which are all like up and waggling and waving at me and waffling. All right, lovelies, I'll see you all again for the next one really soon. Until then, cheerio.